보통 값이로. Sir, please stand, please join, please join. You please join, everyone. Yeah.
You guys are having
No, it's okay. I'm having the video now. Going. Okay, thank you.
Come inside.
Yeah.
We'll give you the video. That's what I was.
Because of the traffic jam I had today for 20 minutes.
Phone number, iPhone number.
Change makers. We often imagine seasoned leaders or activists who spend decades in their fields. But today, we're talking to someone who breaks that mold entirely. Someone who's proving that age is no barrier to creating meaningful impact. At just 13, she has already achieved more than most people do in a lifetime. Our guest today is none other than Lisipria Kanguja, one of the world's youngest climate activists, a voice that resonates across continents, and an unwavering advocate for environmental justice. Today, we'll be diving deep into her story, her vision for the future, and her unwavering commitment to the planet. We'll discuss her innovative projects, her experiences growing up in a world grappling with climate change, and the message she hopes to share with leaders and citizens alike. Lisipria, thank you for joining us today. Your work is incredibly inspiring, and we're excited to hear about your experiences and insights.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
First of all, Kirori, namaste. Kirori, namaste once again. I just came from the airport. I'm coming all the way from Brazil. I just attended the G20 Summit there, 2024 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. To address the world leaders about our concerns, about today's global climate crisis, because it's an urgent issue that everybody is facing. Every single one of you here present in this hall, like in the reality. Even now, you can, like summers may, heat waves, intense heat wave crisis. And then now, look at this, the high air pollution level. And many people are facing this. Innocent people, innocent children are facing it in the front lines, even though we're not responsible for it. So my name is Lisipria Kanguja. I am 13 years old, Indian climate activist, and the founder of the child movement called Bachpan Andolan in Hindi. And I am fighting to save our planet and our future. I'm also working as a special envoy for the President of the Republic of Timor-Leste, and I'm happy to share with you all that I'm the youngest special envoy in history to work officially in a government. Yeah, and I grew up, when we talk about my journey, activism, how it all started. So, I grew up in Manipur, which is a small, beautiful northeastern state of India, bordering Myanmar. And it's full of, the lush green mountains and alluring atmosphere, with full of rich biodiversity hotspots. But now, sadly, most of the biodiversity hotspots have turned to climate hotspots now. But any which ways, I grew up in Bhubaneswar, Odisha for my schooling reasons. And when I grew up there in Odisha, in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, I faced, my life was hit by Cyclone Titli in 2018 and then Cyclone Fani in 2019. So you see, during those two cyclones, I saw as a young toddler, as I was really little young at that age, I saw how many people, children suffered destruction of those two cyclones in those 2 years, 2018 and 19. And I couldn't sleep, I couldn't even take my food, drink water, or anything because it really impacted my life. And then I later moved to Delhi in 2019, and then I again faced the air pollution crisis and the intense heat wave crisis, which is still present here in even more worse conditions. So like in summers we face the intense heat wave crisis, and then in the winters we face the high air pollution level. So yeah, after facing all these environmental issues in such a young age, it turned me into a child climate activist. That's how my journey started, and you see, the air pollution, it's impacting who? Us the students, us the children, in the front lines. We go to school every day, we go to college every day, and it's impacting our health. And you know what? Hundreds of thousands of newborn babies are dying because of that, because of the intense, the high air pollution level. So that's how much it impacts us. Today's global climate crisis. And the intense heat wave crisis, it's beyond the human imagination, beyond the human limits, I have to say, that humans, we the humans, every single one of you here can ever face. So that's how the extreme level of climate crisis we're facing. And I have my own organization, as I mentioned before, the Child Movement, or Bachpan Andolan. It's the organization I founded in 2018, and what my organization does is, do various activities, raising awareness, cleanliness drives. We also do climate strikes, protests, filing petitions to the government, local, world government leaders, I have to say. We also do massive tree plantations because trees are the ultimate solution in fighting climate change. They play a huge role. Yeah, and I also have three main demands to our government and the leaders to change the system. First is climate law, to pass a climate law. Why? If a climate law is passed by the government, by the leaders, as soon as possible in the parliament, then it would help us control the carbon emissions and the greenhouse gases. Second is to include climate education because today's global climate crisis, we're facing it, but most of the people aren't aware what climate change is, what they're actually facing, and what steps, measures, or actions that they could take. So environment awareness, environment consciousness is really important to fight the global climate crisis, to be in this climate journey together. And so if climate education is a mandatory subject in every school education curriculum, then it would help us fight the climate crisis from a very young age, from the grassroots levels. And also, I'm happy to share with you all that many states in India have started teaching climate education as a mandatory subject in their school education curriculums. Even now, many other global countries have also started teaching it, and many states have started in India teaching climate education after my request. So that's and I believe it should be a mandatory subject in every school education curriculum in order to fight the global climate crisis. And in 2022, in 15th of October 2022, I spent a night protesting in front of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the President House of India, where to enact a new law to curb Delhi's high air pollution level. And on 18th of October 2022, I got detained by the Delhi police because it's restricted. It's full of rules and regulations, and they didn't allow me to protest and such. And then finally after days, after many hard work of us the activists, many of us, on 28th of October 2020, the President of India himself signed an ordinance to curb Delhi's high air pollution level. Yeah, but still, we still face the high air pollution level. So the commitment, there's the need for that. Even if climate change law is passed, they need to take the action. Yeah, action on the ground. Not just people signing the ordinance or anything. Yeah, and also you guys might be knowing, yes or no, I disrupted the high-level plenary session in last year's COP28 United Nations Climate Conference held in Dubai, UAE, United Arab Emirates. And it was, out of frustration, I was, really mad at our world leaders, the rich nations, because you see, COP28 was a huge failure, was a complete failure. We were asking those rich nations, those world leaders, to end the era of fossil fuels. But guess what? Most of the people who attended the conference were the fossil fuel lobbies. So what kind of climate conference is this? The COP's event, the COP28, the United Nations Climate Conference, is like the only platform where we, the climate activists, can raise our voice and everything. But instead of that, they were doing the complete opposite of what we were telling them to do. So out of frustration, I took a poster, then I writing "End the Era of Fossil Fuels, Save Our Planet and Our Future," and then I ran up the stage. I didn't care what might happen to me or my life. UAE, Dubai, it's a really restricted country, isn't it? Yeah, it's full of laws, regulations, and everything. But I didn't care about that. I just ran up because it's for the sake of us, not only me, you, but for everybody living in this world. I shouted, I screamed that we must end the era of fossil fuels now. Because it's really an urgent need, because today's global climate crisis is caused by the coal, oil and gas. The fossil fuels, it's the top causes of today's global climate crisis. So rich developed nations must do it as soon as possible. And then after the disruption and everything, it was the crucial juncture that day. It was the last day of COP28. And then what happened next was the COP event got extended for 2 more days. And then finally, all the nations, part of the United Nations, agreed to end the era of fossil fuels by the year of 2060 and to double the clean renewable energies by the year of 2030. So yeah, no more countries can ever use the fossil fuels, coal, oil and gas ever again by the year of 2060. Even this year, COP29 is happening in Baku, Azerbaijan. But during that time, I went to attend the G20 summit. You ask me why. You think why? As I said, COPs is a really crucial event, global platform to raise our voice. But what's happening is that most of the key world leaders who is responsible for the loss and damage climate finance, climate funds, have decided to skip the COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan this 2024. So I also decided to skip the COP as well. Because you see, on the other hand, the G20 summit is where most of the the key world leaders, the rich nations that we are seeking the demands for is coming. So now, yeah, G20 summit is like really crucial, especially for the global south, countries like us, to bridge between the rich developed nations and the poor developing countries in range of issues, not just climate change, not just global climate crisis. And yeah, even now, I have talked about how last year the passed, the end of, we all came to an agreement to end the era of fossil fuels, to double the clean renewable energy sources. But the thing is, the rich nations, what I'm mad about is that they have zero commitment. They have zero commitment to do this, even though they came to an agreement. So we're still fighting for this, calling out, that our governments, must work together to make a just transition away from coal, oil, and gas, the top causes of today's global climate crisis. And also, we're seeking for, we also have another demand called as the climate finance, because today's global climate crisis is caused by the rich nations, rich developed nations, and we are just the victims of it. So, rich nations, rich countries, the world leaders must take the responsibility and pay for the loss and damage funds now. Because we deserve climate justice. We deserve climate justice. If there is no climate, there will be no climate justice without the climate finance. So rich countries must take the responsibility now. And that money, that funds of the loss and damage, shouldn't be the climate finance, shouldn't be in any form of loan or debt trap. It should be transparent money. Because that's what most of the rich world leaders try to do. Put the global south countries, put developing nations in a trap. And even now still, there is no, we still don't know, there is no clarity who will give, how much we will give, and which countries will benefit from it. Small island nations like the special envoy I am of, Timor-Leste, has not even received a single dollar yet from the loss and damage funds. So this is unacceptable at any cost. Yeah, and now I would like to talk about the Taj Mahal. Yeah, I went to Taj Mahal, because it's one of the 7 wonders of the world, and I was really shocked there, even though they were dustbins. And then what I did was, take a poster. I took a paper, poster, and then I wrote, behind the beauty of Taj Mahal is plastic pollution. And it went viral in the social media. And what happened next was, the plastic pollution around the Taj Mahal was cleaned within 24 hours, within the next day. And also the authority was fined rupees 1 lakh. Yeah, they must take the responsibility, So people, as I told you, environment consciousness, they just do anything that they want. So changing our behavior is the absolute step that we should take, in order to save our planet. I also have this project, the world's first plastic money shop. So when you hear about the plastic money shop, when you hear its name, it's about plastics only. So in this project of mine, people come in, students, children come in, and they give me plastic, single-use plastic waste from their homes, etc., etc. And in return, they get to choose between these 3 options, which is 2 kg of free rice, a stationery item, or a plant sapling. And then, after doing that exchange between the single-use plastic waste that they give and those 3 items, I again, collect all those single-use plastic waste from the people, and then I again recycle them into, school benches, desks, house roof sheets, road tiles, etc. So the mission of this project is, to eliminate every single-use plastic from our planet, and it also stops the single-use plastic waste from reaching our oceans, rivers, seas, landfills, etc. So that's what my project is doing, and it also won many awards, such as, for example, the Anthem Award of USA, and what was the name? Eco Hero Award. Yeah, just recently, 2024, right? Yeah. And so one question for you all is that, do you think plastic is a good product or a bad product? don't look at the environmental terms. Just think about the pros of plastic. Like, you think it's a good product or a bad product?
Like as a businessman, media is a अच्छा product. It is good for me. It's cheaper.
Exactly. And any what else?
It has more advantage and disadvantage also for plastic.
It does. So basically, do you just think plastic एक अच्छा product है या एक बुरा product?
Good.
Plastic disposal is a problem. Plastic is not a problem as such.
Thank you. You guys get it. Like, see, I ask this question to every single place I go, like the interactive sessions, speeches I give, and you get my point.
Thanks.
Thank you. See, I ask them whether plastic is a good product or a bad product, and most of them come up with the answer that it's a bad product because how it impacts the environment and everything. But the real question is, who made plastic the bad product? Right? Who is causing all these global plastic pollution crises and everything? Who? Us, the human beings, right? Us. We, the human beings, exactly. So, plastic is not the problem. We made, we humans are the problem. Yeah, so what we must do is that change our behavior. That's what I would like to say. Because it is now a very big, vast issue now. It's really impacting our environment deeply. This plastic. So, right now, yeah, we should change our behavior. So the plastic pollution, it's already there. देखो, it's like अभी बहुत बड़ा problem बन गया है. तो अभी देखो, we should, what I'm trying to say is we should try to not use the single-use plastic at our homes. We should store it properly. But now as it's a really big issue, ये plastic हमने कितना बड़ा problem बना लिया. What we the climate activists are trying to do is to, completely ban plastic where it's manufactured, like the factories where it's produced. Because ये एक बहुत बड़ा problem बन गया and people they don't change their behavior. They just keep on doing the same whole thing again. And people, we do cleanliness drives. We do. But the thing is, हम plastic collect कर लेते हैं. जो भी कचरा कूड़ा वहाँ पे like let's for example like beach cleanups and everything. But there would be absolutely no point if एक process चलता रहेगा. People throw, we collect. People throw, we collect. है ना? So what should be stopped is that the throwing wala part, the behavior, the bad behavior part, and then change it, and then we can start with cleanliness drives. We can start with cleaning up our own planet. So you can start by taking these small measures, small steps, because as I say, all of our little things can make a huge difference. Yeah, and so I already talked to you about the loss and damage funds. You agree with me that the rich nations should pay now, right? देखो, many people come up with that. देखो, कि इंडिया को भी करना चाहिए. ये loss and damage, climate finance, end the era of fossil fuels, ये सब. Like, but I just want to say that you're wrong. I'm telling to those nations, we the climate activists are seeking, this demand to the rich, developed nations. Because they started, the releasing of carbon emissions, everything, because rich nations are the cause of today's global climate crisis. They started it from the very beginning of the industrialization time period. And India तो अभी recently start हुआ ये सब. So yeah, rich nations, the developed nations, like see, even using a gas is a dream of many people here in India. So you can't just say to end the era of fossil fuels now, to people, to Indians. So who must start? The rich nations, because they have the alternatives. They can actually do it. The global leaders of those rich developed nations. They can do it. They have an option to do it. So they must. That's what we're trying to do. They have to give up their commitments as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would be too late. They should not back down on their words. And you in Palestine. Children are dying due to heat wave crisis and air pollution crisis हमारे भारत इंडिया में. Children are dying due to flash floods right now in Spain. And children are out to school to fetch water from a very long distance in my own birthplace. And in many parts of Africa. So you see, millions of children like me are losing their lives, losing their parents and their homes due to climate disasters. And sacrificing the lives of those millions of innocent children, those victims, for the failures of our leaders is unacceptable at any point. As I've mentioned before, I'll say it again, that our governments must work together to manage a just transition away from coal, oil and gas, the top causes of today's climate crisis, the fossil fuels. Even though देखो मैंने बोला था कि but still मैंने बोला था कि the rich developed nations should start, they should lead it, you know, उन्हें start करना चाहिए. Then after that the other countries will follow them. Isn't that right? If they started, the other countries will gradually follow them in this pathway. Yeah, that's what should happen. And we also need to hold the lawmakers, us the students, us the children. We must hold the lawmakers accountable for their political decisions. Our voice is like really important, and the leaders and the government, they must listen to our voice. They must listen to the voice of the scientists and experts, what they're asking for, what they're seeking for. The demands. I really don't get it. Like, देखो, debate, media, press conferences में, they invite political leaders instead of scientists and experts. I don't get the point. Like, climate crisis को solve करने के लिए ये सब debate करते हैं and government वाले को लगा देते हैं उस debates में instead of the scientists and experts. It's just funny, And you know what the condition in the Yamuna River, right? It's full of foam. आपको पता होगा. It's the ammonia. Ammonia. Yeah, ammonia. So that foam is called ammonia. So it's very like and recently I just went there and I asked the local people who were there like अभी के लिए that foam was gone. अभी के लिए बस थोड़े दिनों के लिए I went there and उस वक्त नहीं था वो क्योंकि उसी दिन the exact same day the cleaning people came in and they cleaned the foam, but it's just temporary. And the thing is, they are cleaning those ammonia from another chemical. It's just funny how they're doing this, the process and everything. It's a big issue already, Yamuna River, it's polluted, it's really dirty, because of us, the human beings, and big polluters, the factories, policy, ammonia, chemical आ रहा है, and the solution they came up with is that, अच्छा चलो ये सब लोग बोल रहे हैं कि clean करने के लिए, ठीक है clean कर लूँगा, and I'll clean it with chemicals. Wow. I don't know what to do with them now. So yeah, crores for the many years, government like बोल रहे हैं कि वो सब बहुत सारे crores use करते हैं, to clean the Yamuna River. But I don't know. I just want to ask them, where did those crores go? Where did that money go? Because I can't see a real change. I can't see a real change. You can't just clean those chemicals. You can't just clean those plastic pollution with another chemical. I can't see the real change. And you can't do that with all those hundreds of crores that you invested. So where did that money go? These greedy politicians, I must say. These big polluters. Yeah, and what I would like to say is that, we will not allow history to be written by big polluters and greedy politicians who choose profit over our own planet. Yes, and you can call me crazy, but I believe that we should have the basic rights to clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, and clean planet to live. Obviously. So, I have a dream where there is no coal power plants and thermal power plants and is replaced by the clean renewable energies. I have a dream where there are more bicycles on roads instead of more fossil fuel vehicles. I have a dream where every child living in this world has access to clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, and clean planet to live. And asking clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, and clean planet to live is all our basic rights. Lots of people talk about freedom. But what is real freedom? What is real azadi? Freedom is when you can protect your land and environment. Freedom is when you can protect your children's future, culture, and health. Freedom is when nobody can discriminate you on the basis of caste, creed, color, gender, or any other discrimination. Freedom is when you can read and write. Freedom is when you're out of hunger. And freedom is when we are all together in this fight. So let's fight for our freedom and change. Where does change start from? Where does change start from? Us. It starts from you. If you can change yourself, then you can change your family. If you can change your family, then you can change your neighborhood. If you can change your neighborhood, then you can change your community. If you can change your community, then you can change your state. If you can change your state, then you can change your country. And if you can change your country, then you can change the whole world. And we will continue to fight until we achieve our goals. We are unstoppable, another world is possible, and change is possible. Yeah, and I will fight until my last breath. I guess the speech was, too long, but I hope you take all the steps, what you can do from your side. And gradually spread the awareness, whatever you know to your friends, to your families, to your relatives, because environment consciousness awareness is really important, as I mentioned before. And lastly, all our little things can make a huge difference. So yeah, thank you very much for having me here.